Uh, Hello, everybody. Good evening. Happy Tuesday to all of you. Welcome on in for another night of Indie Author Reading Spectacular. Or just Indie Author Reading. It could be either way. Either way, we're back here to have a little bit of fun tonight. We have been reading Spectral Braver by Tiago Resende. Spectral Braver, the first arc. Not the second arc, not the third arc, the first arc. Because there are more books than just this one. However, you guys will only get the joy of one of these from me. You are going to need to go buy this book and the rest, so that way you, too, can find yourself enjoying just a ton of Spectral Braver. You know you want it, you know you need it, and you know you're going to enjoy it. So, a last reading, which was on Saturday, our hero Ben made his way inside. The family as a whole got up into the attic and basically come to find that when there are not people living in the house, their energy kind of goes away and they move into more of a sleeping sedentary type of a state. But that is not the way it lived, because Ben's sister came to pick up all of his stuff, even though, well, actually, how about because Ben is dead? Now, clearly, the book did not stop with Ben's dying. No, no, no. It has continued on as he has moved into the afterlife as a ghost, as a poltergeist, as a whatever he wants to be called. No matter which way we look at it, it is an interesting experience for him, Felicity, and the three children, as they have to try to figure out what the future holds for them, how they are going to get through, how he's going to mesh with somebody that died 200 years before, and what the hell they're going to do about the demon in the house. I guess we will have to find out together, won't we? Because, of course, I do not read any of these ahead of time. I read them with you. Now, if this all sounds very interesting to you, I don't blame you one bit, because it is very interesting. However, if you have missed parts of the reading, they are available on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/@SirArminius. Stop out there. You can read, well, you can listen to the chapters we have done so far. We finished chapter 4 on Saturday. Tonight we will be starting chapter 5. Now, obviously, I must be recording these chapters in order to put them on the YouTube channel. And you're right, I am. As a part of those recordings, it does mean that I am not able to stop and chat with you in the middle of a chapter, because it would make no sense to people who are watching the recording. So instead, we will be chatting between chapters. I'm happy to chat now, answer any questions you may have. I'm happy to chat between chapters, answer any questions that you may have. And if you have no questions, guess what? That is okay too. But because of that recording, I don't stop to chat with chat in the middle of the chapter, because it wouldn't make any sense. So, Now, to another note for you guys, because Spectral Braver is a little bit different than many other books that you may have read. So, let's have a little bit of a note to the reader here. You can, of course, get this note to the reader on the YouTube page, but I'm going to read it for you because, hey, you're here and I'm here. So here we go. Note to readers. Spectral Braver uses a style dubbed novel cinematic. During your experience, you'll notice a few unusual things. Every paragraph, regardless of length, represents a continuous camera shot, often including multiple concurrent character perspectives on scene. Dialogue is always tethered to either the announced speaker, their loudest thoughts, or their actions. Italics are employed to convey changes in communication sources such as phones, loudspeakers, and writings, as well as non-translated spoken regional expressions and honorifics, implying a slight signal interference in communication. Furthermore, characters will often string inner monologue into verbal dialogue or respond verbally to thoughts directly. Time is also liable to shift in the prose, to reflect the distance of a given memory from its subject. Please, don't be alarmed, for after a certain point in this story, you will be alongside the dead, witnessing their uncanny reality. If all they have is thoughts, surely one would experience those in their presence. Thus, to facilitate the unusual transition to the ethereal realm, think of these books like seasons of a TV show that you can read, shot by shot, scene by scene, like a cinematic storyboard. Within this format, thrilling action set pieces and deep emotional experiences with vivid characters await you. May this provide an unforgettable experience. And with that said, let's get ourselves... Nope, that is chapter 6. That's chapter 5. Scrolling around in my Kindle app. And with no more further ado, let me just verify that there are no questions waiting in the wings out there that I have missed before we get ourselves started. No, 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 no. I see none. And with no questions here. What the? Why is my Twitch showing offline? That shouldn't be showing offline. Refresh you. Make sure. Okay, it is playing. Very good, sir. Very good. Wanted to make sure I wasn't missing something there. I would be sad if for some reason my friends upon Twitch were unable to catch the story. Nope, it looks like it just had a kerfuffle. A kerfuffle to start the day. And now, for all of you, sit back, relax, and prepare to enjoy as we dive into another chapter or two of Spectral Braver, a dark fantasy by Tiago Resende. Spectral Braver, the first arc. Even the lingering dead may still find courage. Starting tonight in Chapter 5, When There's a Will. Felicity is still reeling from this terrible encounter with the demon. Ben is too harsh, and that crash downstairs surely sounded like he made a mess of things. It is good that he is strong, of course. It renders his presence as reassuring. But Papa often said that one should let sleeping dogs lie. Won't he end up escalating this situation into peril for the children and herself? Trying not to, Felicity. She jolts. How careless of her, letting these thoughts spill out like this. Ben isn't taking his eyes off the door, sitting cross-legged on the dusty floorboards. He's like a sentry, and the darkness which fills the attic still affords that one exit with a strangely focused highlight. He's worried. You know, this thing downstairs, it feels familiar to me in a way that I can't quite put my finger on. It's hostile, but it's like it doesn't care that it is. Just going through the motions with us, like some kind of animal or that guy with the white mask from those slasher movies. She giggles. Your mind is full of those things, isn't it? Ah, in my day, we would have to take a coach all the way south to be able to see moving pictures. And there were so many people there, lining up for those tents, just to see shadows on a sheet. Ha ha! Couldn't be bothered with it. Papa did just as well with a lantern for Gunner when he was small. But those memories you have, they're so gruesomely lifelike. It's like a clear looking glass into a strange new world. Isn't it frightening, Ben? He gazes silently at her with a tender smile. The moment she's focused on him like this, the fear goes away. That's good. Her decayed brow wrinkles in heartache. Why would he care about a wretch so? Taking a profound whiff of courage, she dares to ask, Wh- Why didn't you? Her own voice echoes sharply downstairs. Ben! Help me, Ben! The children gasp. She is suitably staggered. I, I, I didn't. I know, it's that thing. Gets up, stomps to the door, banging on it. Hey, moron! Lousy bait! She's right here! Not for long. The cloaked phantom responds below. Oh, I'm getting sick of this for real. Felicity, stay with the kids. The corpse lady warps directly between him and the doorway, inches from his face. Stop! You can't be goaded in this foolish manner. Calm down. Please, I beg of you. A frustrated exhalation escapes him. Get out of the way, Felicity. Shakes her head vigorously. I get that you're scared it'll come after you if I get taken out. But I'm a guy, all right? I let threats like this fly. Next thing we know, everything goes sideways, and it's going to be over me being a puss. This angers her. Pardon me? Pushes him across the attic floor. Now you heed what I say, young man. I thoroughly dispense with this juvenile bravado of yours in my house. This isn't about me and the children. Her pain is transparent, even with that horrid complexion. You died over my carelessness that day, and I was lucky enough that you remained to give me a chance to ask for your forgiveness. His harsh expression melts. She can't blame herself. Hey, there's nothing to. There is. Don't you understand that it's my fault that. Lowers her veiled visage to the floor, gripping his shoulders. Lydia squeaks. He's not mad at you, Mommy. Right, Ben? Yep. I know you're trying to protect me, and It feels nice to have someone who cares about me like. Her voided sockets raise at him. Your mother. I'm not trying to replace her, Ben. I'm just being selfish. I want you. The cloaked man sounds from below once more. Let him come, Felicity. She violently swivels to the door. Would you be quiet? Ben snickers, joined by the children. She is indeed the matron of the manor. You want me? You have me. Can't go against the lady of the house. A smug grin surfaces. I didn't mean it like that. The attic bursts into hilarity around the flustered Victorian lady. Downstairs, a black cloak turns away from the door. These topsiders fail to grasp the peril of their situation. Within the depths of a cavernous gallery, its walls made of flesh with pulsing dark arteries stretching along a seemingly endless continuum, a dark figure approaches. Spurs clicking in a ponderous, solemn rhythm, an intimidating silhouette of a long rifleman's coat, topped by a straight-flapped preacher's hat. It addresses someone in a beckoning gesture. Echoes of distinct screams of men and women alike, amidst the droning cries that fill those walls, can be heard in waves, as if these are the figure's own words. "Open the door! Please, Reverend, it's burning!" Further along this grotesque scenery, the cloaked demon stands with its back turned, a recipient of some manner of report, as it would be interpreted. Hmm, how old is he? "Why, Reverend, we have children here! Open the doors!" "3? How adequate the number? Do you still reach into this child's soul?" "No, Reverend, please." "I see. If he's leaving his flesh as you describe, I will send an ancient to possess his vessel, seeing as you lack this ability. Is my sister aware of this boy?" Sudden silence ensues this inquiry. "Good. Keep it that way. She doesn't share my concerns with dreamwalkers, whereas I know the threat they represent to our order. He must not learn our ways. The next time you find him absent, ensure he stays wandering. Terrify him. Destroy his will." The tall shadow nods and walks away. "Reverend." It stops. "Your loyalty to my sister notwithstanding, this is between us. Stays between us." "Open the door!" "I will not rely on her to open a breach in that house. Do not insist. Are you not able to reach the parents and have themselves curse that place?" The figure shakes its head. "Hmm. In a sense, the living of this age and their fading connection to the greater realm poses unforeseen challenges for us. This used to be easier when they believed us. Very well. Keep an eye on this. Benjamin. A tragedy will unfold in his surroundings. Eventually, we bide our time." Ben is looking out the attic window, attempting to stave off his apprehension at this entire scenario. It is now clear to him why this family chose to stay up here. He just doesn't agree with it. Looking back at this brittle, thin corpse of a woman once regarded as a belle, he knows this decision of hers came from the fading belief in her own strength. But they're still here. She kept them safe. Psst! A small shadow appears next to him by the window. It's Gunner whispering. "I know you want to sneak out, sir." "Am I that obvious, kid?" "Yeah. I know Mommy can be scary when she gets upset. But don't you think the demon is scarier? You're a bit strange." The young man side-eyes the boy. "You're gonna help me or not?" Who in turn snickers. "All right, sir. Through the garden. I'll distract her. But be careful, please. What are you going to do downstairs anyway? Get into another fight?" "You know anything about military strategy?" "My family used to smith axes and shields for warriors back in Norway. We know a thing or two about wars, sir." "Can you drop the sir, buddy? We're friends now." The boy nods obediently. "Cool. So, before you head off into a battlefield, what do you need to do?" Uh, my ancestors drank concoctions made from mushrooms. I believe that's what Grandpa told me." Ben grimaces in amusement. "Fair enough. You guys were legit Vikings, huh? That is badass." He nods proudly. Right, but that's just a buff. You also need to observe troop movements and see where they keep their stuff and so forth. Following me so far?
Scouting, sir. Um, Ben.
He grins in fatherly approval. Smart kid. Felicity is eyeing both with extreme suspicion, while she sits with the other children for some imaginary tea. What is her oldest up to? He comes over hurriedly with a pained semblance.
Mommy, I got a bellyache.
Both Peter and Lydia immediately react in a chorus.
How is that even possible?
Gunner slightly tilts his eyebrow, commanding their silence. He and Mr. Ben are up to no good. Predictably, a mother's instincts to cater to her brood's every necessity has much greater bearing than that handsome man and his incomprehensible ways.
My sweet baby. I'll make it better.
Pfft,
Baby.
Lydia sidebars, seeing the absurdity of this farce.
You're all my babies, Pumpkin. Now show me where it hurts. I also feel pains from your previous life sometimes.
Felicity knows that despite her best efforts, their tragedy will always follow them. Those pains are from the stabbing, she's sure of it. Those images will never be erased from her mind. The crushing anxiety of seeing the only thing about her life which truly mattered ravaged by some unfeeling cruelty. Beneath her breath,
Damn you, Jack.
while she inspects the boy's spectral form, Peter and Lydia are drifting further away into the backdrop. He comments in whispers.
Big bro is a decent liar. Way better than me. But Felicity always ends up figuring out I sneaked downstairs.
Really? That's not something he should be proud of, Peter. I like that you are bad at lying. It always catches up to that silly boy. She side-eyes the ginger with a mean-spirited grimace. Despite her fair appearance, the tiny girl is by far the worst prankster of the three. He holds his laughter, lest it spoil the ruse. Making swift use of the distraction, Ben backflips into the wall, spotlessly landing on his sneakers over the stone floors below. Gotta give it to Death. Couldn't pull this off without a broken neck. Boyish as he is, this excites him. Time to remember those sneaking moves from Iron Cell and infiltrate enemy territory. Even go so far as to hear the spy genre soundtrack from the game in his head. Back against the wall he slides, approaches the red door, just like the playable character, Solid Viper. Carefully opening the door without a creak, bursts into the corridor holding up his hands like a gun, index finger being the barrel. Quickly skulks to the other end. What a child. With even more care, he's about to engage the patrolled area. The wooden panel opens ever so gently as he peeks. He was right in his suspicions. The monster is still around, and the entrance hall is tinted in red light. Inching stealthily, his spectral form is becoming translucent, doubtless a result of his own will to become unseen. The gangly, tall humanoid beast stands motionless above him, in the stairs landing. If it's not trying to enter the attic, why is it there still? A desiccated hand yanks his right ear, pulling him back into the hidden corridor. Ow! He whispers. Felicity is silent, yet seriously aggravated by his puerile display. Look, not trying to start anything, just scoping out his movements. See where he goes, what he does when we're not around. It's
Strategy. My boy told me.
She sighs deeply.
I cannot, for the life of me, understand what you're trying to accomplish here, Ben. What year was it when you came to this house?
Uh, 2023?
Wouldn't you say that's long enough for me to have figured out what happens around these parts?
She has a point.
The only way to make the demon go away is when slumber comes for us. It takes time to become active like this again, and by then, me and the children would already be safely in the only place it cannot reach us. That's all you can really do.
Both hear thuds, descending the main stairs. Ben doesn't take his eyes off that general direction.
Will you cease being this rambunctious?
He chuckles.
What?
Oh, nothing. I just think the way you talk is seriously cute, is all. This charming, playful boy. How dare he tingle her in this manner, while she's being serious? Even as a weathered corpse, it is evident to the young man this struck a chord with her. That's her own charm, wearing her heart on her sleeve.
Uh, what are you saying?
I I didn't say anything. She feels her cheeks and ears explode because, in fact, he did not. This man is a tease, positively irresistible. Why is this happening when she's in tattered shambles like this? Could this have happened when she can't even remember how she was anymore? This is so unfair. The panel behind them opens. The creature found them. Ben reacts instantly. Felicity, duck! She complies while he launches a wide, rotating kick over her, forcing the creature to dodge backwards out of the corridor, though the move was too obvious with that messed up leg. Shit! Time to bounce! Grabs her hand, pulling her deftly back into the garden. The woman is fuming.
Ugh, this night is taking forever to pass. At least in the daytime, I don't have to worry about you running into that thing, seeing as you can't stay put.
True. Shoves hands in his pockets abashedly.
So you just admitted to having absolutely no restraint.
Yeah, sure. A smirk.
You're impossible.
The demon opens the red door. The couple turns their heads to look at it. It cannot advance further, staying in place at the doorway, watching them in silence. She resumes.
So, as I was saying, do I really have to stress the importance of remaining in the attic yet again?
Look at it for a second, Felicity. She quickly glances at the horrid thing and tries to get past his line of reasoning.
Yes, I understand it is limited in its reach.
And that doesn't give you ideas?
About what?
The mischievous jokester approaches gently. Well, if we know we can't go to the back of the house, we have a bigger safe zone than just the attic. I'd say we start to formulate some kind of plan. Dunno. There has to be something we can do.
It roams most of the blasted manor. What plan could we possibly have, Ben?
He shrugs. Still working that out, but... Hey, man, can you not stand there? Me and the lady are in the middle of something here. Felicity is flabbergasted at this young gentleman, casually addressing the demon as a bother. He truly is so unafraid. Pretty cool, huh? She yanks his hand, pulling him away.
I'm taking you back upstairs, unless the whole reason you came down here is to not have to look at me.
I didn't want that dance to end, you know. He says the darndest things. Is it to get a rise out of her? Transparently regains her composure with a deep exhalation, followed by a softness.
I didn't want it to end either.
He smiles tenderly. There may come a day when all these worries of hers will finally be behind them. In this moment, there is nothing he wishes more than that. Notices she isn't letting go of his hand. Things which are unspoken are often the strongest.
Ben,
Yeah?
you've made your point, but I wish to protect you as well.
He chuckles. All sorts of trouble follows me around.
Way before all this. You'll probably regret dragging along. That's why I tried to go solo on this stuff, you know? My bad luck may end up being contagious, and that worries me.
She lowers that darkly veiled face to the stones of the garden.
I know I'm not as strong as you.
That's not what I said. The defunct husk humbly lifts its hollow gaze to meet his own.
I don't understand what you expect of me.
Can't say I've given that much thought. We're still getting to know each other, but there's definitely something special about you. Everything about him is warmth. If it weren't for those horrid eyes locked on them both, this would have made her heart flutter wildly. Yet, isn't she just as dreadful as that thing? Let's go back to the attic. Come on. That bozo is seriously getting on my nerves. The lady giggles and starts floating toward the uppermost floor of the house. Shall we then? We'll discover what's special about one another in due course. The corpse looks to their safe haven, mustering a confidence once thought lost to the vicissitudes of death, with this sweet man in tow. For it is made clear that he is there for her. Such rare kindness should not be squandered. Felicity was once more standing in the cemetery of the Old Dutch at dusk. For once, she wouldn't check the contents of her own grave. She knew of her own demise now. Confusing as it was, it felt as if these motions were reproduced by her countless times, and the result was always the same. The heartache and despair. Flashing images of Jack's violence. That unearthly grin he had. He hurt the children, and she no longer knew where they were. Overwhelmed by sorrow, she prayed, "May they be in heaven with the angels, with Papa and Mama, even if it meant she was to be punished by remaining in this nightmare." She must have done something horrible to deserve this, or perhaps some callous mistake. She didn't remember. But worse still was that she couldn't see their faces. The most precious thing was gone. Someone approached the grave-littered hill. Those were white flowers carried by this indiscernible shape of a person. Could they help her? Could anyone help her? She felt nervous while following this shadow. They were mourning someone, much like her. She wanted to ask about her children. They were 3, Gunnar and Lydia. The other one, there was no grave for the other one. She could try. "Please, miss, have you seen 3 children? My children?" The flowers were thus resting on the gravestone. However, that hazy form of a person, it simply vanished without a word. How can someone even understand what they see in this place? Was that even real? Things happen in fragile glimpses, like when one recalls a dream they had. It may be beyond her reach to make sense of all this. What if the children were back in the manor? Her heeled boots clacked chaotically through the streets of Sleepy Hollow, punctuated by her uncontrollable sobbing. Such horrible rhythm she made. Mist was fading as blackness filled her path. She must not forget their home. It was still standing there, thank the Lord. Bursting inside, darkness followed her indoors, but to her right there was candlelight. 3 shapes of people around it, over a small table. A small device with a tiny single red light, propped up on a steel tripod, stood as the 4th shape, buzzing strangely. She could hear the tiny metal pieces inside, turning like gears on an opened pocket watch. One of them spoke, a young man. "Is someone with us tonight? If so, move the planchette to yes." She approached the table. Didn't take too long to realize what this was. A seance. All those grim aristocrats from the South used to indulge in these things. Alas, she was the one on the other side. Hope flooded her heart. If they were trying to communicate, she could ask about her children and perhaps come out with concrete answers. For if her pain was to have no reprieve, at least there would be no further uncertainty. Filled her lungs to speak, but just like the other person at the Old Dutch, these wouldn't hear her either, in all likelihood. She should use that spirit board instead. Gently touch the shape on top, seeing many hazy fingers resting upon it, irradiating nervous anticipation. may have been as scared as she was. Despite her angst, she should be graceful. Doing her best not to startle them moved it to yes. A young woman burst out.
Oh my God! Was that you, Eric?
No. Told you this place was legit. So, who wants to start? Another girl nervously raised an arm.
Me. Let me go first. Will Kevin ask me out?
Felicity was confused. What manner of inquiry was that? Wasn't long until it dawned on her. They were under the mistaken belief that she was somehow a seer. Why were they asking such stupid questions in her house? Weren't those tents and carnivals a proper place to get your love fortunes read? That was annoying. She moved the wooden piece carefully again. Who cares about this Kevin? Much bigger things take precedence. The young man read her motions. W H E R E. Okay. This is definitely happening. Holy shit! The corpse's face scrunched up in profound chagrin. What an uncouth man. One of the girls went, "Where are my children?" "Eric, this is seriously creeping me the fuck out. We gotta stop. We gotta stop." Even the women talked like drunken sailors in that age. She was losing her patience. The planchette started moving wildly in front of them, without their fingers resting upon it. They were in the throes of terror. Felicity moved it to no and sharply spelled out, "Tell me, have you seen them?" or, resting it back at no. The man sounded ecstatic. "Shit! Okay, let's all chill. I think we're talking with the actual murder victim."
Oh, Eric, please, let's just go. I don't want to do this.
Why? Because she doesn't give a fuck about you and Kevin? The other one nervously chimed in.
She's right. We should go, babe.
Whatever. Felicity Williamson? You're the murdered Belle, right? I read about you. How disrespectful. She furiously spelled out, "Not my name." No? Raising his face to the ceiling, as if she was supposed to be flying over them or something. She was standing right next to this idiot. "Weren't your kids murdered too?" A powerful wave of mourning filled her spectral form. Indeed they were. Jack. She could not stave off this pain any further, breaking into sobbing. Her children. If only she could see them. One last time. One of the girls pleaded,
"Please, it's 3 a.m. It's the witching hour. It said no. We're probably talking to some kind of demon."
The planchette swiftly slid to yes. Towering above them, a beastly, gangly, and pale creature, resting one of its nails upon the object. A crazed grin. The device that was running beside them suddenly shut off, while descending pressure, the very weight of the whole world, abated over the distraught corpse lady. It was back. It claimed her. It claimed the children, and was aiming for these young people as well. Even while stepping back in dread, she needed to do something. Filled her lungs and shouted, "You three! Go! Now!" Eric was shaking.
"Oh my God! I heard that!"
His girlfriend was being touched by the creature.
I don't feel... Eric?
The other one shouted,
"God damn it, Eric! We gotta go! Now!"
The three shadows suddenly vanished from the scenery, while a red glow encroached upon Felicity. No matter the intentions of this demon, something she would doubtless acquainted with, if no one will help her, she'd ask it. Regardless of the monstrous threat this being posed, she needed the truth. More than anything, she needed to find them.
"Jack, what did you do with our children?"
Mine now, it growled. Trembling at the one answer she didn't wish for, started hearing commotion outside as the demon advanced upon her. Why did it sound like they... Ha 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 ha! Holy fuckity fuck! That was intense, Brenda! Not funny, Eric. Let's get away from this place. That was messed up. Angie, you okay? Felicity's sobbing was at a fever pitch. All of this was so cruel. Clenching fists and teeth, awash in tears, bowed in anger, a booming shout sprung forth. Why won't anyone help me? Every lamp in the manor of the Craigs lit up, only for several of the bulbs to explode at the surge. The beast warily inched backward. Wah! Ha! My babies! Grasping her shrunken womb, the mother couldn't endure this. Even this monster, with no compunction for murder, wouldn't end her misery. She's here! A boy shouts. Hurriedly coming down the main stairs, the ginger in pajamas flies to her rescue. Mrs. Craig, come on, to the attic, hurry! She turns to him, baffled. It's still difficult for the boy to face this gruesomeness in the grieving woman. But she's hurting. He's a man. He has to act. Your kids are upstairs. The ancient resumes its march. Whatever power she momentarily exuded, it is thoroughly crushed now. Besides, Eowyn said the boy is for the abyss. A rare opportunity to resolve this. Peter steps in, arms spread, shielding Felicity. The poor thing is shaking all over, eyes glimmering. You go away! Leave her alone! A shadow rises behind him. Dark smoke, hardened in fury, envelops the boy. A groaning woman rumbles the purple hall of the manor. You won't take him! You won't! A terrifying vision. Ashen hair unleashed in a sprawling, flowing mane, akin to a spider's web in the wind. Skin as glowing, curdled milk. Out of the blackness of her sockets, a purple glow. The other two children suddenly appear in the stairs landing, below the glowing blessings of the stained glass window. They see her. What happened to Mommy? The beast approaches, recognizes the scent of this energy. This is shared with other masters of the depths, the Abyss Mother's own chosen, yet she isn't attacking. Afraid, so he doesn't have to relent. A single clawed step is put forth. The boy flinches. No! A crashing shockwave pushes the creature into the breach. It digs its claws into the fleshy matter. Those elongated arms allow enough leverage to rise once more. Alas, a heeled kick to the skull. Couldn't even see her instant rush. Only after she pulls her leg up, its face sunken from the furious blow, has no recourse but to fall. She stands, inanimate, staring into the depths. It better not come. Loses her senses and collapses. No! Peter rushes to her aid, tugging on the skirt. They shouldn't have weight in this reality, but it's definitely dragging her in. Ah! Gunner! Lydia! Help! The children immediately warp to his side, all pulling on her dress. The pressure won't allow them to escape. Are they doomed? Gunner is crying, fighting for her. They can't lose her. Mommy, wake up! The family bursts out of thin air into the attic. Unconscious, the corpse mother lies still. The children weep around her. Peter utters amid sobs, "Thank you." That was definitely her. One moment they were downstairs, and the next, they were all safe again. Simple as that. Upon the dusty floorboards lay the rose pin. Mommy is so strong. Her ghost begins to fade into the house. She's going to sleep again.
She'll be okay. She has to be. 3 small ones weep. 3 tiny, blessed souls. Felicity wouldn't remember those events. As they would awake, she started carrying on as normal. The children agreed to always wake before Mommy. She panics and runs out of the house looking for them when she doesn't see them. So it is for the best that they do this for her, even if those strange nightmares about their fathers never fail to appear. Dutifully, she soothes them. But she always weeps at first, has nightmares of her own. That much is obvious. Not only is she afraid, but she's sad and spends a lot of time not speaking, unless seen if they're all right. Those are the 2 things she does. Mommy's always tired, floating about like she carries something heavy on her back. Since then, they never saw that strange glowing form she became. So it was also agreed they wouldn't speak on it, ever again. With all the people that would come to the house, things turned livelier for a while. This was shortly before those workers showed up to install brand new furniture and devices. Soon after, they met Mr. Ben. Felicity seemed in a better mood those days. Even said, "Well, I hope at least they take good care of my father's manor." Once the place was full of young people and loud music. Peter heard plenty of odd conversation everywhere. Apparently, you can now rent the manor for Halloween parties. What a dumb idea, especially for how she feels about it. A couple of people throw up in the halls. Others were tossing lit cigarette butts to the hardwood floor. There were guys who didn't even flush the toilets. Boy, she was angry. Peter regrets what he told her. Felicity, why don't you scare them away?" He peeks through the opening. She slams it shut and stares the boy down. A bunch of people heard that clearly around the second floor. Someone was right next to it and saw it close. "Hey, Kyle, turn the music down." An Afro guy with purple-framed reading glasses and a thick hoodie jacket in blue is already in full investigation mode. "Hey, everybody, shush! Y'all saw that?" Folks are gathering around, the moment that noisy and fast music abruptly stops. This supposed Kyle is coming up the stairs, 2 steps at a time. What an animal. Dirty blonde. Probably plays football, judging from that blue jersey. "I say $20, it's the fucking door that won't open." Bangs on the attic door, twice. Felicity staggers back with Peter. "Murder Bell?" the loud braggart shouts, turns to the other guy. "You sure, Joff?" He quietly pulls out a device with a light. Looks like a glowing passport. "Unmistakable. Actually felt that shit. Was leaning on the frame when it happened." "We all heard it. It's the door, all right." A group of girls nods, along one with salmon pink hair and a bunch of facial piercings. All those glowing things are coming out of their pockets, and they're pointing them to the door. They're taking pictures, perhaps? The obnoxious jock seems very amused by all this. "Oh, okay, everyone, let's go to the B side, huh?" "The fuck is the side B?" one guy asks in the back. "Side B scared." Everyone more or less slouches at the stupid pun. "Joff, we gotta put on some mood shit for this. You got the playlist?" "Yup, unpair yours." This Kyle pulls out one of those things too and finagles with it. "'Kay." Felicity clenches her fist. This is getting to be too much. They want a show? Very well. The attic door bursts open and slams back closed so forcefully that it blows Peter's hair back. Heels clack loudly down the stairs. Everyone's skin is like an orange peel. She sits at the piano, cracks her fingers. Something of Gothica, perhaps. These stupid children came here to be chilled to the bone? Thrill-seeking like those deranged aristocrats and their endless prattling about the world of the dead? Yes, it is real. It is tragic.
painful. It is not a joke. Among the gathering crowd, aghast from the otherworldly piano piece, the three children are her true audience. Mommy is so special. No one is sweeter, smarter, stronger than Mommy. But the look on her face, they wish she wouldn't hurt so. This whole group of people, once rowdy, stand in silent reverence. She drags her hand across the keyboard and collapses the guard loudly over it. Stands up to see her children.
Let's go. They'll be quiet now.
Floats to them, solemn.
I know you'll think they'll keep us safe down here, but I already told you. It's the house rules. Off you go.
Sorry, Mommy, Lydia contritely pleads.
It's all right. Come. Trust you'll clean up after yourselves, you savages.
Peter is sure they didn't hear that. While they float upstairs, one could hear a pin drop. After that beautiful, spooky song, the next time she would play the piano was for Ben, a song she used to play all the time, the one which made her cry the most. Ben is staring at her back with streaming eyes. Takes off the glasses to wipe his face. I knew it. I knew there was something about her. A pained smile. Peter is sitting beside him.
She doesn't remember. I tried telling her once. She says it was a nightmare. It wasn't. Gunnar and Lydia remember it too.
Those two are leaning on their mother while she tells them a story about knights in shining armor. Ben turns to him. What if I tell her?
That we almost fell into the red? I don't know, Ben.
He caringly rubs the boy's head. You worry about upsetting her. I get it, kid. Let her figure it out some other way.
How?
The ginger is curious. When there's a will, there's a way. Ever heard that saying? Light is returning. Morning finally came. Perhaps I get one more day before slumber comes. The corpse lady floats by them to the window and stretches against the glow.
Ah, Ben. Well, if you wish to go downstairs, it should be perfectly fine now. It hates the sun.
Why would I want to be downstairs? Felicity turns to him. In this moment, she has come to terms with this. She has a friend now. The cheerful husk asks,
So, what should we do this fine morning?
Jackson removes his casual clothes to the bathroom floor. Worked out right until 3:30 a.m., getting ready to hit the sack. Predictably buff from all the weightlifting. Looks more akin to a bouncer than a boss. Steps into the shower cabin. Body is sore. Best to go for hot water this time. Starts to wash his hair. The high-rise corner apartment lies silent against the nightly Manhattan skyline. A single window is lit on the building, revealing a dense shadow darting from one end of the bedroom. The running water seemingly makes it easier to manifest. Amidst the steam, a pitch-black shape. Glowing eyes. Eowyn, utters the naked man. I believe I'm affording them too much room, the cloaked figure confides solemnly. This again? Could you please just wait until I'm done? Seriously. The water makes it easier to speak in a manner your mind can hear. Don't flatter yourself, human. Jackson exhales. You know, this stuff almost ended up looking like I ordered a hit on an employee. Had to fire the security guy publicly, saying it was his fuck-up. Does that burden your conscience? To cover my own ass? He slides the glass cabin door and directly looks into those red orbs. closes it, annoyed, and resumes bathing. Stop fucking around. This cost me. Fucking game. The shadow takes pause. I wonder how much you would need. To live forever. That would be quite something. Beneath the cloak, a gruesome grin draws humor from this wish. Well, that is already assured, is it not? Is it? I mean, look at what you did to him. The detectives showed me the pictures. This sort of thing happen often? He's done scrubbing, switches the water off. Total silence. The cloaked, bluish figure is now inside the cabin, with him. Not nearly enough. This sends the man startled into the shower head. He's bleeding from the hairline. God damn it, don't fucking do that. It's not my fault you couldn't get rid of him. He's dead now. What do you want me to do? This waiting is fastidious for me, Hyde. I need someone there. Now, before you say anything on the matter, let me propose that you do it. We are business partners. My accruing of knowledge with these electronic constructs shall bestow you with riches untold. But better still, power. I would be as stupid if I were to kill you there, as I would be if I set you free. A bargain was made, Hyde. Waterlogged lips of a corpse encroach on Jackson's left ear, whispering viciously, You don't break those. Ever. After this, only silence accompanies the remaining falling droplets from the shower, followed by a cold draft, which visibly wafts through the steam clouds. Coming out of the bathroom with a band-aid along his hairline, notices his expensive-looking white desktop is showing a message to him. Move to the house. Not gonna happen. This simply continues to walk into the bedroom side of the cold and dark gray-themed suite. Is not important, Aowen. Make me money. Gotta pay the lawyers. The cloaked specter sneers behind the doorway. It warps out of there. Aowen stands in front of the manor at dawn. Looking up at the window, lively movement can be seen. This didn't used to be the case. That woman and her children would stay in place, cowering. It doesn't seem as though this place will afford anyone connections, for a while. Those two problems left unsolved. Two dreamwalkers. One a child, the other a much bigger problem. He consorts with that mother. Perhaps leaving them in slumber will waste away the amount of energy and thoughts they have accrued these past days. It's not as if he can do anything about it at present. Jack doesn't suffer from the same limitations. A construct as lasting as the abyss itself, provided the curse stays in place. This is no longer her house. A grimace of malice forms. One of its glowing eyes floats out of the socket and phases into the front door. When those topsiders awake once more, surely in the same confused and traumatized state as before, the less of a struggle it will be. He'll come here to oversee their annihilation, personally. The demon is now standing in a great circular hall in black marble, suspended over a great gallery made of flesh. Impossibly long pillars of the same stone, digging overhead. The droning screams are nothing but a mantra to his senses. To focus on despair like this affords quietude the surface always fails to provide, especially now, with all the electronic noise of this age. Life is meddlesome. It reminds him of will and its purpose, helplessly fighting against the inevitability of what comes after. Irrational. Their aspirations are those of animals. Even that greedy topsider thinks he'll live forever. They're all obsessed with persistence, with nary a grasp on what this condition truly entails. They all exist here as nothing but mere sustenance for the abyss. Steel greaves clank into the hall. Another cloaked being of similar stature approaches the demon with intent, a smoky woman's voice.
Eowyn, sister, I sensed your concern, flooding the abyss as you returned here. It disrupts the peace of my acolytes.
He slips out a quiet laugh.
Peace. No matter how often you speak of our mother's designs on the greater realm, you never seem to question those for their inherent contradictions. Peace is something these souls shall never attain here. You fancy yourself a rogue philosopher, brother. One who nevertheless indulges in the same justice we all bring to this world. If these contradictions bother you, you would do well to find them in yourself, lest this comes to nothing but your own rationale as to your personal failings.
She circles him, attempting to catch a glimpse of his expression. He is evidently hiding something, which agitates her.
Why isn't this manner with the Craig Manor resolved? It has been absorbing your dedication as of late, I find. These curses don't take this long to yield ancients, even spontaneously. Care to justify your actions?
Darkened lips of a diseased green hue deliver her wisdom in the face of this uncomfortable silence.
Many souls were ushered in by her alone, for the day this world would become a trough for death, as it was for our own. What magnanimous peace is afforded to them all? To be equals in these depths, this is Mother's justice.
Eowyn shudders in hilarity. She never truly relents her preaching.
A gatekeeper would have far better understanding of how these things begin than myself. I don't dispute this, even if I don't recall any of it. Do forgive me if I labor in my own conclusions. My choices have never failed this hall, or you for that matter. You are not her sole favored, so as to be speaking with such authority. I wouldn't even trust when you say you remember much of her still. Ages of two whole worlds have already passed us by, sister. How much of the teachings she bestowed upon you are even reliable now? Would she consider me lacking?
The cloaked female turns around to leave.
Look at her works around you, you ingrate.
This blasted miscreant fancies himself exempt.
Be careful you do as to not become infatuated with our food, admiring them. You wouldn't want to be the one shameful example of a predator becoming prey. How much do you know about Felicity, Craig? Aside from the disappointing delay of this one curse, You seem to withhold details from us. Is she that much of an obstacle?
How many human mothers have you destroyed?
All of them, as much as I felt like.
What do you think happens when you do not bring them here? A pair of glowing red eyes, like the innermost core of a raging inferno, turn from the cloaked female. They wander the surface, weeping, beckoning, heavy-hearted weaklings, beset by sorrow and regret. That would be your Felicity. Were I charged with her fate. I see. So you find me incompetent.
No, brother. I find you distracted. The Abyss Mother trusted you as much as she did me. I afforded us all mistakes, lest I be a hypocrite. She would be the first to concede that we are only.
Don't.
Correct. I will not.
She walks away.
Provided these disturbing obfuscations do not result in troubles for the rest of us. Carry on. But, brother,
Stops her march.
your ability to lie shouldn't be turned on your siblings. This is a council. You serve it.
I take pride in not troubling you with my own affairs. The same cannot be said for you, sister.
You want to be able to use that as an argument indefinitely, Oblivion. I'm not the forgetful nor forgiving task. You'd do well to remind yourself that my own memories can't be used to manipulate me.
A great scythe, its blade misshapen from hundreds of attempts to fortify it, swiftly spins from the red depths beneath the hull into her thunderous grasp.
You have your own competence, a master of dreams and whispers. Myself and your brother look forward to being just as impressed by those ways as you, no doubt, are impressed by ours.
The order is absolute, sister.
As long as you hold to that belief.
Ah, demons. What do you guys think of the demons? We made it through a chapter. Oh, happy days. Let's go see if we have any comments, questions, or concerns from anybody.
Are you enjoying the read? Do you like it? I think it is quite interesting. Do you not concur?
All right, I am not seeing any comments, questions, thoughts, or concerns from anybody out there. So, how about we get ourselves in one more chapter this evening? We'll get one more done. I think we can do it. In fact, I know we can do it because I'm the one reading. You guys just have to sit there. I hope you are enjoying. Remember, the chat is open if you do have any questions, comments, or concerns. Anything you'd like me to address, I will be happy to address it in between chapters. And now, Chapter 6, Indigo Eyes. The police are investigating the disturbances from last night downstairs. The neighbors called it in. There are no signs of a break-in, and that big table was clearly tossed into the dining room window from the inside. That young man's crime scene left everyone baffled ever since. It has to be the house. Sleepy Hollow has its share of oddities in its history, yet time relegated those to mere folklore. Cold sweats and an electrifying haze of unreality invade the senses of these three officers. The sooner they get this over with, the better. Felicity stands by the attic window as she pretends to not be watching. Ben, well, he's doing push-ups, ab crunches, and squats. After a while, she can't help but slip out a comment.
Surely this form of yours will only be as fit as it was when you died, kind sir. You seem rather fine to me.
He replies without interrupting the workout. Figured as much. All in the mind, right? Still, always did this every morning before school. It helped me not feel completely defenseless.
Against what?
Ugh. Doesn't matter. I just don't like feeling weak. It sucks.
What sucks?
She's worried he's reverting to his uncouth speak. He stops the workout. Oh, right. It's a turn of phrase. It means, frustrating.
I see. It would appear in your age you avoid words starting with F, unless, of course, the word
Felicity! She giggles, covering her mouth. What an utterly adorable woman. Much like her daughter. Lydia is playing with her invisible tea set in the corner, speaking to an equally invisible gentleman caller.
Please, pour some more tea, good sir.
Ben jumps up, spurred by an epiphany, and turns to the children. Hey, guys, I noticed none of you are scared of your mom.
I was.
Peter raises his hand coyly. It's obvious the slight trepidation he experiences in her presence still. Right. You didn't know her before. That's normal. I got spooked too. Felicity feels uncomfortable with the conversation.
Please, let us not go into that. It took a long time for Peter to accept me. It was only because of my children, who still appear alive and well, despite. Anyhow, they brought us together so I could protect him.
You look alive too, Mommy,
Lydia says, furrowing her brow. Gunner stands up to contribute.
When ladies came over to Grandpa's parties in the parlor, they would always say Mother was ravishing. Not sure what that means, but I think it's a good thing.
Wipes his nose. Prideful. Bingo. Ben's intuition was correct. Appearance in this reality is bound only by memories. And if those memories can be shared... Lydia, come over here a sec. Tell me about your mother.
Ben, what are you doing?
Felicity is flustered with concern. I'm going to see what she sees. Trust me. Places his hands on her child's head.
Well, she's like me, but she's very big and has blue eyes.
For a child just shy of 7 years old, she can't really express much in the way of details. But that's unnecessary. He sees her now. The bell. She is holding her daughter's hand as they walk in a park full of well-dressed gentlemen and ladies, top hats and parasols. A street urchin with his shoe-shine box, tending to a distinguished noble's shoes. A carriage passing by. All noise. All that matters is her. She is completely out of his league. Spry and elegant, with a very pronounced strut. So feminine. Her shiny blonde hair, braided and wrapped in a bun, behind her head. She turns to Lydia and smiles as they approach a bandstand in the middle of the park. Unusually fashionable bangs frame her face. The sheer radiance and joy she expresses with a smile feels like a shot to the chest. Point blank. Ben turns to Felicity. Before his very eyes, death is shed from her entirely, like dusting off a statue. Now that she stands in front of him, Every detail floods his perception. He lingers on her chest. That's what Lydia meant when she said, big. The young man gets smacked upside the head. The woman turns her back on him.
Huh.
Grabs his skull. Ow! What did I do?
Your decorum, sir. You lost it.
It dawns on him that his thoughts can't really be hidden from her, particularly the really loud ones. My sincere apologies, milady.
Milady.
This is the first time she's laughed this loud. Does she understand what's happening? Felicity, can you look at me?
Why would I?
She's being an adorable idiot again. I want to see your eyes. She coyly turns around with a stupid smile. Ben draws really close to her, one would say, at kissing distance. Gently lifts her veil. Your eyes are indigo. Wow, that's really unusual. Your eyes are supposed to be blue, right? She turns beet red from his intensity.
You see my eyes?
I can see everything. The bell of Sleepy Hollow. The real deal. Those pearlescent windows to her soul widen.
But how?
Let me show you. Holds her face while sharing his memories. That was a good day. She looks at her hands, the delicate cutis of her fingers, her bright, smooth complexion. Is this a dream? Is she actually alive again? What is this overwhelming feeling coming from this man? Felicity warps into her bedroom. Cops are still walking around. Their walkies spout indiscernible instructions downstairs. It doesn't even matter. Her heart is bursting out of her chest.
He is so uncouth, so direct.
Lets out a long sigh and collapses sideways onto her bed. A sudden image of his spectacled, handsome self appears. Squeezes a pillow against her face and starts kicking her boots up like an infatuated teenage girl. Well, squealing. It's getting darker. Felicity enters the attic stairway, carefully composing her Victorian dress and hair. Her bright, straight bangs are once again getting in the way. It's this bothersome veil. Doesn't need it anymore. Rips it off. Takes a deep breath, walks up the stairs. Upon entering, she doesn't see him.
Where's Ben?
The kids get up quickly and run to her skirt. Gunner goes,
You were gone. He went looking for you.
Peter can't take his eyes off her face.
Wow, you're so pretty, Felicity.
She starts tearing up with a big smile.
You're a very handsome boy yourself.
Steps back and holds up her hands.
Please stay here. I'll fetch him. Won't be long.
All right, Mommy,
Lydia chirps. A cloud of purple bursts where Felicity stood. Gunner turns to them.
I've never seen her this happy. Did something happen?
Peter rests a hand on his shoulder.
She's not creepy anymore, that's why. My mother? Creepy? How come?
Peter sighs.
Ben's right. You two really don't have a clue.
The hidden garden draws upon the remaining luminosity of the fading day. Ben already looked everywhere in the house, but she's not there either. His face is scrunched up, ball of stress. Felicity! God damn it, if they took her...
Speak my name, and I shall appear,
she proclaims in amusement. Oh, God! I was so worried. You can't just disappear like that. Warps to her, immediately holding her tightly. She blushes, softly shutting her eyes. Is it possible that love can bloom even in death? Pushes him away.
Sir, You really have to master your social etiquette. This is no manner to approach a lady. In your age, perhaps, this wanton affection is welcomed by women. But in mine, courtship precedes this kind of physical contact.
Sorry. Just a spur of the moment thing. Are you all right?
I feel splendid, thank you. Thank you so much for returning my vitality to me, if I can even dub it as such.
Holds his hands, bearing a beautiful pleasance. I could tell it was a problem for you. I had to find a way to fix it. That's what I...
What you do, yes, that much is clear to me now.
She evidently wants to say more, but can't find the words. As such, both stare at each other, long enough to make someone else in their presence feel like a third wheel. The violets swaying in the wind. A looming darkness above, while mist retreats upon nightfall. Two figures around the same height, their gazes locked. Together. A magnificent picture of something impossible, blooming in such an inhospitable, yet nonetheless poetic canvas of gloom. Both stand there, blushing, unsure of what to say. Awkwardness starts to set in. It may be what they're both thinking the same thing, for such is youth.
We should go. To the children,
She says, holding back a sigh. Yeah, all right. Adjusts his glasses for the first time since he died. The moonlight bathes the young couple sitting under the attic window. That moment in the garden appears to have robbed them of their ability to speak. But as their thoughts wander wildly in the fields of bliss, it soon results in fanciful conversation, a sparring of the minds in a shared space. The challenge? To woo and wit. A beautiful dance, like the one downstairs. Whatever loneliness haunted these two fascinating beings, it has departed thusly. Yet do not mistake this. Felicity Craig, in her ways, has sent Benjamin Freeman into orbit. Because whether she would admit it or not, she knew her beauty. She remembers it clearly now, whereas he has no idea what she sees in him. Let the games commence.
I'm wary of your eyes, sir.
You were looking at me while I was doing squats.
I was. Oh no, I can't hide it. Dreadful. Only jesting, good sir.
A smugness creeps on her lips. Their eyes are closed. You're seriously adorable. She turns away from him, flushed.
This telepathy thing is like a private chat room, running on brain waves.
Wait. What if your kids can log in? Awkward.
You speak a foreign language to me, sir. Please explain.
The chat room is, wow. How do I put this to someone from 1863? Okay. So there's this thing called the internet. It uses really long plastic wires, almost as thin as hair, and orbitable, devices way up in the sky to transmit waves. Think about it like the biggest encyclopedia that you can't touch going through planet Earth. People can use it at home on a thing that looks like a mirror, but shows you moving pictures, okay? The young woman is silent, even in the depths of her own mind. She's processing it quietly. Uh, okay. So the chat room uses that specific technology for verbal communication, in text or voice.
So this is the evolution of the telegraph. My,
Yeah.
so mankind must have improved, right? If they're so connected among nations.
Look at me. What do you think? They stare at each other.
I couldn't say. There's a part of you that seems to like trouble.
I take umbrage.
I'm sorry, Ben. Wasn't trying to.
She truly is. Just kidding. He smiles. I don't care either way. Trouble found me early and often because I don't fit in. Even this thing with the dreams seems to be connected to what's going on. It's like I got promoted to Major League by playing a couple of days in Junior. It doesn't make sense other than fate is messing with me. It's like I'm being relentlessly tested. Adjusts his glasses.
Ben, listen to me. Your strength is beautiful in this place. The rest of us just endure it. That is what we do. We don't share spaces with the unknown. We hide, fear, and sleep. To have someone I can share things with is so.
To be understood.
Yes, and you understand me. Instantly, like him.
She regards him highly for this. Your dad?
He let me marry Jack. He knew it was what I wanted, respected my wishes, and now he likely regrets it.
It would be great if he was here. And my mom.
You love her so much.
She smiles in contemplation. Good old proper mama's boy. Proud of it. She was an amazing person who got dealt a really bad hand with my dad. Picked herself up, defeated poverty, and got sick.
My deepest condolences.
Closes her gorgeous indigo eyes. Thank you. I think she knows you.
What?
That was a quick shift. When I saw her, she looked at you. I think she wanted me to help you. Or at least, I'd like to think she did. Felicity's face sparkles in the moonlight, as her mind can't fathom whether she is sad or thankful. Possibly both. He breaks the connection. Holds her hand but gets pulled to her energy. As their spectral forms meld, she unwittingly lets out an erotic moan that reverberates through his mind. The three children are slack-jawed at the pair. Both get up hurriedly in a fluster. Ben gets smacked upside the head. Morning rises over Craig Manor. Ben comes down the entrance staircase. I'm still blown away by how accurate Foggy Hill was. There's really nothing but that mist outside. He steps through the door. Did I just taste wood chips? This is unpleasant. Spits out. Okay, that was a bush. Walks over to see the items they tossed out the attic window earlier. Here's the baseball gear, the armored war model, the bracers. Okay now, how do I carry these inside? A recollection of what Felicity said back in the attic emerges.
Perhaps you didn't even consider whether it was possible or not.
Ben looks at the attic window. How about a shortcut? He climbs up the face of the building, reaches the roof, kneels and phases through it halfway. Guys, got your stuff. Catch! Drops the model, mitt, and baseball. Gunnar and Peter reach out to grab them. Ha ha! It worked! Rather pleased with himself. Lydia widens her honey browns in surprise. He's such a funny adult.
What are you doing on the roof, Ben? Can you go there?
To see how much I can do. Turns out I'm a erected man. Ha ha ha!
What is that?
Gunnar asks. A superhero from comic books. Peter knows what those are.
Like Ultimate Man?
Yeah, not as strong as him, but he's pretty famous in my time. As the four children talk about these things she doesn't understand, Felicity, who's sitting with her daughter, can't stop thinking about last night. He's a man. She's a woman. They live together, and as time passes, they get closer and closer. Her face is red. And that smile. Lydia notices.
Mommy, why is your smile so silly? You thinking of a joke?
Felicity pulls out her fan and shakes it vigorously. Her bangs like flight. Clears her throat.
Nothing, Pumpkin. Let me pour you some tea.
Such a relentlessly inquisitive child she is. Might be she's at that age for the dreaded, incessant why word. Ben watched the whole scene, realizing that the tea set is actually laid out on the floor between them. And that fan? He comments. Constructs. Felicity looks up at him.
As in, of the mind?
Yep. Our memories allow us to build constructs of things we owned. This is seriously useful. Lydia, you're really something, you know that? The miniature lady laughs. He shifts out of the ceiling. Footsteps stomp to the other end of the house. Sounds to be in high spirits. A couple of Dan's steps are heard. They giggle. Drops down onto the hidden garden. I remember wearing these, so shouldn't be a problem then. Ben's bright red arm bracers immediately materialize on him, while the original article seemingly lies discarded on the floor. He's figured it out. Before the house powers down, better practice. All right, now I feel a lot more confident about this. Grunting and shouts travel from the garden into the attic. Ha! Hey-ya! Felicity gets up and phases to the wall to see what he's up to. Pardon. Ben is shadowboxing. He dodges, weaves, punches, jumps, kicks in multiple directions, while his movements precipitously increase in velocity. She can feel gusts of wind emanating from his direction. Turns to them.
Children, stay here. I'm going to see if he needs anything.
Ha! One last turning high kick is shot into the air. As Felicity floats down, her skirt is suddenly blown upwards, revealing her modest undergarments. Thankfully, he doesn't notice it while swiveling around. She struts towards him, picking up her skirt with both hands, heels clacking on the stone pavement, a bright red face.
What are you doing?
Getting into the swing of things. Bumps his knuckles together and the bracers vanish. I'm gonna fight that thing, Felicity. Opening her mouth to speak her piece, the young brawler interrupts. And I'm gonna win, so we can go about our merry lives. Well, poor choice of words, I guess, but you know what I mean.
I do. That's what I want as well. But what if it drags you away from us?
Her eyes shimmering moist, pleading. Oh, it will. And that would be the moment to send it packing. If that thing in the red is hungry, it can eat its own crap for all I care. Not me, not the people I care about. I promise you, I'll make this work for us. Felicity notices his leg is no longer crooked.
Your leg?
Yeah, figured that'd just get in the way. Next thing I knew, I was fixed. Slides her soft hand on his neck.
But what about this?
This one stays. In striking, steely-eyed resolve. Need a reminder of what's not supposed to happen to anyone else. Winter of 1849, Sleepy Hollow. A bustling, muddy main street with many ongoing constructions in wooden frames, materials piled along the freshly laid sidewalks. A young, scruffy-haired Jack Williamson, wearing faded and dusty work clothes, is involved in an altercation on one side of the street, between a carriage transporting goods and a stagecoach. A gentleman in a top hat sticks his head out of the latter, protests at the passerby over a man doing his job. I have very important business to attend to, and there is this mongrel taking up the road with his menial labor. Get your boxes out of the way so we may pass. Jack remains calm, adjusts his suspenders, and walks up to the window. Sir, it will only take a moment. Please be patient. Time is money. Money is everything. Unless this business is important to Sleepy Hollow, I don't see how. He interrupts. This business is important to the entire nation, sir. Craig Metallurgy supplies the Eastern Railways. Of course it had to be that Norwegian iron peddler. These immigrants and their impositions over my town. A purple blur of an 18-year-old blonde rushes to squeeze through the gathering crowd.
Sir, I take offense. Mr. Craig is my employer, and he honors my labor more than anyone else in this town.
You take offense? These proles? Ah! The arrogant man turns to his driver. Remove this imbecile from my sight. The driver, in a top hat and black long coat, is evidently familiar with the discarding of nuisances. Hops out of the seat, whip in hand, raises it. As it snaps down, Felicity thrusts in the way. Stop! Searing pain, blood on the cobblestone, a long cut from below her right cheekbone folding into her jaw. It burns terribly. Jack steps in and furiously decks the driver onto the pavement. You don't touch her! Turns to her as she tries to stop the bleeding with her hand. Are you all right, Miss Craig? She attempts to draw a smile.
I'm fine.
Immediately picks her up and makes a dash to the physician's clinic down the street.
Please, sir, put me down. I'm fine.
Jack anxiously shouts. No, this is my fault. I will make it right with Mr. Craig, I swear. Felicity looks at his scowling face while her whole body jumps up and down on his strong arms during the sprint. It doesn't even hurt anymore. A purple scar on the left side of her face, tears before Ben's shock. What is this? Are you okay, Felicity? Her eyes moisten slightly in remembrance of the sharp pain.
We all have scars. You just reminded me of mine.
This sends him into an anxious fit. Oh, man, this is my fault. How do we change it back? Her smile grows.
If it's all right with you, I wish to keep it. A reminder that I will never regret protecting someone.
Pupils widen. His heart aches. This magnanimous, gorgeous femme of noble glow is everything he couldn't see in other people. She gently takes off his glasses.
Your eyes are verdant green, you know. The color of spring. Of hope.
That very much threw him over the edge. Ben binds lips to Felicity passionately and in total abandonment of his constraints toward this woman, confirming what he felt. Everything he is as a man is only true when he is with her. Her bright red cheeks, slowly batting eyelashes as she momentarily surrenders her entire being to his emotions. This rushing wave of energy is making her feel lightheaded and tingly. So much love coming from this man. He pushes her away. I'm sorry, you're so... She's still raving. A cute, lovesick sigh escapes her lips.
Oh, my. Sir, I have to say...
Pulls out her fan and starts flapping it.
Wonder how many women you've done this to. 'Tis rather lascivious.
Not many. I wasn't a popular kid. Ben looks down, scratching his head.
I find that hard to believe. Are your women even interested in men?
Sometimes I wonder that myself. But then again, I'm me, so... She frowns.
What do you mean?
The young man shrugs this off. I don't know. Guess I'm not their cup of tea. What I can tell you.
All this brashness aside, this lewdness. I believe the women of your age are idiots, and it's their loss, really. Have a good day, sir.
Hands him his glasses, bows to him with a stupid smile, and goes back into the house. He is left standing in the garden, unsure. She liked it, right? The kiss flashes before his sight. Shakes his head, smacks palms on his red cheeks, making the bracers reappear. Okay, bro, that's your prize right there. You figure this out. Then... Now he's the one with the intrusive basic smile. Amidst the flowing violets resumes his spectral training, with even more power coming from those moves as the shock waves ensue. Felicity is back on her bed, kicking and squealing. Suddenly, thunder roars. Springs off the bed, remembering her children get scared when this happens. Warps into the attic. Lydia is bawling.
Wah, Mommy!
Another one shakes a house. It's getting closer.
It's all right, little pumpkin. It will go away soon. Are you boys all right?
Gunner nods, trying to act brave, whereas Peter hides behind him and shakes. They all crouch down as another one hits. Felicity! I need help here. Ben's voice is coming from the garden, sounding wary. She phases into the wall and finds this most curious event. That silly man is running around the fountain, desperately trying to evade a crackling strand of plasma in pursuit, seemingly magnetized by his energy. She rushes to his aid, yet immediately realizes they're now both running from the thing. It's catching up, he shouts.
Why is it doing that? What did you do?
He looks at her funny. What did I do? It just came at me, like I'm a freaking Tesla coil. Another bolt of lightning crashes into the garden, absorbing both. They're gone. As the specks of energy disperse from this last strike, high up in the clouds, Ben and Felicity materialize. Way up there.
Oh my God, Ben!
Whoa! Okay, this is new. He laughs. How do we get down? She's panicking, not realizing that they're floating and her skirt looks like a hot air balloon. Hey, it's okay. You already figured it out. Look. She peers around, slowly descending through the cumulus cloud.
Just think of the house and we should get there. See the roof?
Yes, somewhat. Ben holds on to her as they come down. They're now both thinking about the kiss earlier, drawn to each other. Hearts are pounding, aflutter, flooded with pure attraction. Phasing through the roof, their lips are about to touch. Felicity's right-heeled boot gently touches the attic floor. They don't realize the three are looking at them with a grin.
Ben and Felicity sit in a tree.
The couple pulls apart, steaming in total embarrassment. Well, that was... Ben is fidgeting with his glasses nervously, whereas Felicity shakes her fan vigorously. Lydia has a mean-spirited grin.
What were you doing?
Nothing, Pumpkin.
Lightning caught us is all.
Ben's energy is off the charts. We got tossed up in the clouds. Ha ha! Ride the lightning, yeah! This world is truly magical. And he's sharing it with her.
I'm glad that amused you while I feared for my life.
I'm sorry, what? Peered at her with a mocking grin.
I see your point. It was amusing, I suppose. Well, children, please do not attempt similar things. Not at least until we understand how they work. It could be dangerous nonetheless.
Walks up to the bell, spectacle eyes trying to catch her attention. Just amusing? Hot and bothered.
Sir, you really don't know when to stop.
As the house grows quieter and the emptiness fills every room, the once loud attic slowly becomes darker. The children are vanishing. You feel tired? He asks her.
No, not yet. Sir, what manner of devious ideas are floating around now?
Glares in suspicion. He goes beet red, which is a look that suits him quite well, in her estimation. This is so fun. No, I'm not. We're still in courtship stage, right? Felicity nods approvingly, glowing in joy. I was just thinking. Wanted to drop by Bert over at the department store. I think I remember it.
You can't really cook for us anymore. Why would you go there?
Just want to check up on him. Will you join me? Stretches out his hand with the desire to show her a bigger world.
In leaving the house? I don't know, Ben. Isn't it dangerous?
Shouldn't be. I know where it is. I don't think we'll get lost. Felicity is wary of this risky proposition. What if they can't get back inside the house? Leave your pin here. It will be fine. Ben Freeman is the sort of man that constantly tries to surpass his limits. Sometimes out of sheer curiosity, but more often than not, he's trying to understand a problem, looking at every hypothesis, cataloging the range of possibilities before him. He's not afraid in the face of a threat. Nothing intimidates him, especially in the presence of those he cares about. Trust him, Felicity. She pulls out the rose pin from her tiny hat and places it on the floor, takes her black gloves off her dress and puts them on, rolling a decorated black hose along her soft arms. Composes the puffy shoulders of her dress, adjusts the hat just right, tilted to the side, then the golden bangs. A purple parasol pops open into her grip. Smiles at him.
I'm ready, Mr. Freeman.
Right this way, Miss Craig. Raises a right elbow, gentlemanly. Proceeds to coil a left arm around his, ladylike. The odd couple. A clash of centuries in fashion sense, yet so lovely together. Tonight they depart on their first date. The Sleepy Hollow Main Street. Darkness squeezes every light source, from storefront to house to street lamps, into tiny static orbs. In this world, whatever the living conjured up over centuries to illuminate their path after sundown, it barely reaches them here. The couple appreciates the quiet and the desertedness of their promenade. This is, after all, their first night alone. Felicity peeks into Mr. Phillips's store. She remembers this place, yet
There are so many things in there. It all looks so new and glossy, like the chinaware furnishings I saw.
with curiosity flaring up at all these articles, she lets go of Ben's arm, glues herself to the window. Her and Papa used to shop here. This is so wonderful. Commerce really blew up after your time. There's just about everything you can buy and sell. Most of it is useless, though, and people forget how to care for one another, so it's really comfortable, I guess. But I don't think it's worth the sacrifice for those things, you know? Indeed, that's truly heartbreaking.
Why sacrifice bonds and caring? Are folks so cold-hearted in your age they only muster care for things now?
Essentially, that's what happened. Yeah, they worry a lot about what others think of them, so there is still a society. Sorta. It just doesn't work very well anymore. People aren't getting married or having kids. Old people die alone.
I understand now why you barely hold nostalgia of your past life. I wouldn't be happy in that world either.
The reason I didn't mind dying is that, for the first time, since my mom, I actually cared about someone. That person just happened to be on the other side of death. Ben grins at the sheer irony of it. The Victorian belle is becoming fidgety with it from his smooth talking.
Is that why you liked me, even though I was, you know?
Still loved my mom when she looked thin, gray, barely alive, dying. Not much of a difference. The way I see it, you were going through your own pain. Couldn't turn my back on that. Felicity hugs him tightly.
Should I be so bold as to claim that your place is beside me, Ben?
He kisses her gently on the forehead. You should, yeah, knowing this is where he belongs. A lingering stare as a street lamp flickers. Was it the energy coming from them? Let's go inside. Come on. Takes her hand, phasing into the store.
So, Chef, what will you be making for dinner?
Giggles playfully. Uh, I could go for some grilled salmon with a nice potato and onion puree with some asparagus on the side. Felicity?
Yes?
Don't you miss food? She goes quiet. I mean, do you have memories of things you ate? I can think of a few things.
I do. And the cakes I baked for my children, on the same kitchen I was proud to see you use. It's been so long. Until you came into our home, it didn't even occur to me how much I missed it.
Like we make constructs out of objects we used. Is it possible that I can think about a dish and make it?
How would we go about eating it?
Perhaps we don't have to think about it, whether we can or not. Shoots a winking hint. The belle's brow raises in righteous flattery.
I see you pay attention to much of what I say.
Every word. I'm the newbie here. You've seen how this place works. For a long time. So I'm your student in spooky academia.
Sir, this is very untoward. A teacher does not become romantically involved with her students.
He chuckles. Oh boy. If you heard the stories about teachers getting it on with their students, you would really be disturbed.
You're joking.
This is staggering to her. Nah, it happens. Not common, but once in a while.
This is... And just the mere thought about our age difference.
Pacing back and forth. A man from a later age, when someone like her, isn't he settling for these strange circumstances? Would he choose someone such as her if she was alive? What are you talking about? We're about the same age, looks like.
Yes, but still.
Ben warps to her with a kiss. She slowly slides her arms around his back, gripping him tightly. Her chest heaves. Her rosy cheeks flare brighter as their loving embrace kills off that silly conversation. It no longer bears relevance, that which separated their lives once. It doesn't even exist anymore.
Ah, Ben.
The fair lady struggles to regain her breath, as if she lives still.
What are we to do about this? About us?
We'll work it out as we go along. To be fair, being dead makes us a whole lot easier. Because we can't lie here. We can't put stupid things like money in front of it. Either. Looks to me like a winning formula for a relationship, come to think of it.
It does.
Rests her head on his shoulder.
I only wish this peace I feel inside for the entire world.
Me too, Felicity. They silently sigh in unison. She pulls away.
Weren't we supposed to see Bert?
It's probably late. He may be in bed about now, upstairs. Assuming the guy really lives here. I'll take a peek. Ben can see the staircase behind a glass door at the back of the store. He goes up and stops. Felicity lies in wait patiently for his return, albeit suitably troubled. Is he absolutely sure about what he's doing? Might be dangerous. He plainly standing there, motionless.
Ben?
What he sees, however, is a thick horizon light, like a sunset coming from a dying star, cold. From one end to the other, countless shadows of people, many shambling in his direction. Are you lost? A distorted, unearthly voice comes out of these beings, repeated over and over. Others say, He's alive. Whoa, okay. Man, that's not good. He comes down and strides back to Felicity. Well, I've figured out why you don't leave the house.
You saw the edge, didn't you?
She seems to be relatively comfortable with the concept. Yeah, that definitely looked like the edge of something, all right. If you don't know a place and you go into it,
You end up there, yes, and you won't be able to find your way home if you stray too far in. It happened to me after returning from the cemetery. Luckily, I ended up at the front door to the manor. At times, I wonder if someone was helping me find my children.
speaking of which, we should probably go. Make sure they're okay. Let me just do this thing really quick. He looks at a standing chalkboard beside the counter. While he's messing with it, Felicity looks upon him with tender eyes. This man didn't know her, and despite the horror of their condition, became attached to her unfortunate family, treats her as a good friend, the children as his own. For someone who wouldn't love anymore, it is clear most of that love wasn't spent. It was saved for the right time. Okay, I'm ready. The pair holds hands. Think of the pin, Felicity. Both warp back to the attic. The pin is on the floor between them. He grins. This is a neat time saver, I'll give you that.
How did you know this would work?
She keeps looking at it. I didn't, but this is a part of you, so I guess I was right. This man sure takes his fair bit of chances with matters unknown, yet this confidence he carries about reassures her. Perhaps cowering in the dark, waiting for the horrors to pass by, wasn't the way. It doesn't feel so much like death anymore, and yet,
Ben,
yeah,
we should sleep too. Starting to feel weaker with all this darkness. We don't have much time left, it would seem.
Ben is worried about the sleeping arrangement, looking around. Right, so how do we go about doing that?
In the corners of the walls, where it's darker. I wish there was a bed here, but in truth, it really doesn't matter how we lay. Still, would you?
She's blushing. I won't leave your side. No. The woman's gratitude rests upon a gentle, weary smile. He sits on the corner. She nestles between his legs, softly lays her head on his chest. Everything about this one day was perfect to her.
This is nicer. It doesn't seem so bad anymore, all of this.
We made it better, you and I. He snuggles around this warm, wonderful being. Even in the face of his oath to protect this woman, it feels safe and peaceful to be with her. Felicity. What a beautiful name. Darkness and silence finally consumed the entire manor. The morning sun shines into the department store. Bert comes down the stairs, puts on his leather apron, ready for another day at his job. Something feels off. A few items seem as though they were moved. He checks the door. No signs of a break-in. Is he becoming paranoid? This town rarely ever reports break-ins or thefts. Checks a register. Still has the same money. Items in the inventory for the store shelves are all present and accounted for. It is only after noticing the chalkboard leaning on the counter that he understands what took place. Pulls out a handkerchief to wipe his joyous eyes, for it read thus: We're okay. Ben and Felicity. Smiley face. All right, everyone. 2 more chapters finished tonight, and we will be starting chapter 7 on the next stream, which will be Saturday night. And thank you, Tiago. I think you nailed the accents for both demons, actually. One is Chinese, the other is Indian. They're just having raspy voices. And, because I am the female, it must be a little bit higher. It's the only way I can do a female voice. My voice is too deep anyways. Anyway, I hope you guys all enjoyed the story tonight. If you missed any of it, I will have the chapters uploaded to the YouTube channel a little bit later this evening, so you will be able to listen to anything starting from chapter 1 through chapter 6. Chapter up through chapter 4 is already there. Of course, if you are enjoying the book and do not want to wait until Saturday for the next episode, you can always go pick up the book. Might I recommend Spectral Braver, the first arc, a dark fantasy by Tiago Resende. Go pick it up, and book 2 and book 3. But you can always stop in and check out youtube.com/@SirArminius and have a listen to what we have gone through already. Thank you to all of you. The greatest gift that you can give is the gift of your time, and I appreciate that you guys gave me the gift of yours this evening, whether it was for 5 minutes or for the entire stream. If you have not already, please stop out to the YouTube channel. Once again, youtube.com/@SirArminius and subscribe. Your support there and your subscriptions are what help me to continue to provide this free service for our indie authors. I hope you guys all have a wonderful week ahead. I look forward to seeing you guys all again on Saturday. And make sure you stop out there and listen to this book, as well as the many others that are up there supporting and promoting indie authors. Have a wonderful evening, and I will see you all again soon. Good night, everyone.